Good afternoon, children. So today we are going to talk about applications of microorganisms. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand what are microorganisms, understand the types of microorganisms, and study the beneficial effects of microorganisms, study the adverse effects of microorganisms, and also study the applications of microorganisms. So what are microorganisms? You have learned previously. Microorganisms are unicellular or multicellular organisms we cannot usually see with our naked eye. So most of the times we cannot see the microorganisms in our naked eye. Microorganisms can live in our environment and in our body as well. They can be both useful and harmful to humans. They can be unicellular or multicellular. They grow fast and have high rates of reproduction. At the same time, they are capable of getting adapted to the environment they live. So basically we classify microorganisms into 5 categories: bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa and virus. So in our next slides we are going to talk about these 5 categories separately. Bacteria can be unicellular and it is microscopic. That means we can see only from a microscope. Different body shapes are there, widely spread all over the environment. Examples are Lactobacillus bulgarius in milk and milk products, Bacillus anthracis in anthrax disease. Fungi can be unicellular or multicellular. Naked eye can see the reproductive organs of some fungi like mushroom and can be found in moist surfaces mainly. Examples are fungi on bread, mucor, yeast, Saccharomyces. Okay. Then protozoa. So protozoa also can be unicellular and microscopic. Use different structures such as cilia, pseudopodia and flagella for locomotion. That means it can use different structures to their movement. They can like change their body into different structures in order to move. They live in other living organisms and in aquatic environments. Aquatic environments means where there are water environments. They live in water environments. Examples are Amebia, Paramecium, Plasmodium. Then algae. Algae can be unicellular or multicellular. Filamentous or thallus body shapes can be seen. So phytoplanktons are microscopic algae floating on water surfaces. I think you might have seen this. Have chlorophyll and have the ability to photosynthesis because there is a chlorophyll. Some algal varieties like ulva is visible to the naked eye. So the examples are Chlamydomonas and diatoms. Viruses can only be seen through an electron microscope. That is why they are electron microscopy. Display both living and non-living features. Multiply only inside living cells. They have no cellular organization. Don't show respiration and growth. So in virus the main thing is they show living features and non-living features both. Okay, examples are influenza virus, dengue virus and HIV. Then we are going to talk about the effects of microorganisms. Microorganisms have this special feature of the ability to survive in even extreme conditions, like they can survive in hot water springs, salt marshes, like extreme conditions they can survive. So in this chapter we talk about application of microorganisms in different fields like agriculture, medicine, industries and environmental conservation. applications of microorganisms in agriculture. So there are four applications: gene technology, nitrogen fixation, producing compost, producing biopesticides. So gene technology in agriculture, we can actually produce drought resistant, pest resistant crops. So that is used in gene technology. Also crops with high nutrition and taste, biological pesticides, these things can be developed using the gene technology. Also weedicides can be produced. So in all these things microorganisms are used. For an example, genes of bacterium Erwinia uredovora is used in developing golden rice enriched with vitamin A. Then we are going to talk about nitrogen fixation. So even though 78% of nitrogen is present in atmosphere, plants are unable to absorb this nitrogen. But Rhizobium, a type of bacteria that lives in legumes, has the ability to absorb atmospheric nitrogen directly. So this process is known as nitrogen fixation. Therefore, commercially they produce Rhizobium, and the Rhizobium that produced is used in cultivation lands to increase the yield of legumes. So there is another example. The other example is Azotobacter. A free-living nitrogen-fixing bacteria is directly added to the cultivation lands. They are known as biofertilizer. Biofertilizer are the substances which make the soil rich with nutrients by using microorganisms. Then when we talk about producing compost, compost is prepared by rapid decomposition of organic matter by microorganisms. Compost is used in growing of plants. Then biopesticides. Some microorganisms can be used as biopesticides to control insects and weeds that can cause damage to the plants. So the fungus Alternaria is used to control aquatic weed Salvinia. That means this aquatic weed Salvinia can be controlled using the fungus Alternaria. Application of microorganisms in medicine. In medicine also there are so many applications of microorganisms. One is producing antibiotics, producing vaccines, producing antitoxins. So when we talk about producing antibiotics, chemicals produced in the body of a microbe which can be used to destroy another microorganism is known as antibiotics. Fungi and bacteria are used to produce antibiotics. Antibiotics can kill bacteria and fungi, but they don't fight against viruses. Penicillin, amoxicillin are used against bacterial infections. Griseofulvin is used against fungi infections. So when it comes to producing vaccines, a vaccine has an agent which is similar to the disease causing microorganisms. Vaccines are made from weakened or killed forms of the microbe or from its toxin. So in the page 6 of your textbook you can see that some examples of vaccines made from weakened microbes, vaccines made from killed microbes, vaccines made from toxins of microbes. So such examples are there, please refer that. So producing antitoxin. When we talk about producing antitoxin, bacteria can produce substances which can harm humans. Such as substances are called toxins. So bacteria can produce substances which can harm humans. Such substances are called as toxins produced by microorganisms. So vaccines can be made from these toxins by removing the toxic compounds. One example is tetanus. So next we are going to move on to applications of microorganisms in industry. So producing biogas, metal extraction, milk based products, product based on plant fibers, are the examples. So when we talk about biogas, biogas is produced by a mixture containing organic matter such as straw, cow dung and water. Bacteria such as Methanococcus react on these organic matter to produce biogas. So biogas can be used as energy source due to the presence of methane. In biogas, methane is there, so it can use as a energy source. So when talk about metal extraction from low grade ores by the use of microbes is known as bioleaching. This is simple and effective technology. This can extract uranium and copper. Milk based products. So lactobacillus and streptococcus are used as culture in producing yogurt. In your book, in page number 8, you can see the procedure of preparing yogurt. If you like, you can try it at home. So these things turn lactose into lactic acid. So acidic medium is generated. Therefore, it retards the growth of other microorganisms. Therefore, enhance the preservation. Preservation means we can keep the food product for a longer time if it is preserved well. Preservation means we do it to keep the food product without getting spoiled for a longer time. Okay. So products based on plant fiber. Plant fibers are separated using bacteria. Coconut hemp are some plants used to get fiber. Compound pectate is what keeps the fiber bound together. Okay. Compound pectate keep the fiber bound together. The pectinase enzyme produced by bacteria helps to separate these fibers. They do it by digesting pectate. Therefore, in here also to extract plant fiber, we use microorganisms. Okay. Application of microorganism in environmental conservation. So microbes are used to decompose the organic matter in polluted water. Pseudomonas is a bacteria which is released onto the ocean water for the decomposition of oil layer on the ocean. That is another example. The next example is heavy metals are released to water. This polluted water is sent through a tower which contains bacteria which can remove these toxins. So what are the adverse effects of now we have learnt about the good effects, beneficial effects of microorganisms. Now we are going to learn about adverse effects. So microorganisms can cause so many diseases. A microorganism which has the potential to cause a disease is called a pathogen. There's a microorganism, it can cause diseases. It we call a pathogen. Mosquitoes and flies are the people who carry these diseases to the humans. So those mosquitoes and flies we call vectors. And also host is an organism which provides its body for the pathogen to grow. So normally in the case of in our case the pathogen will be human. So microorganisms are called as pathogens. Vectors are the people who carry these pathogens, and hosts are the people who will get affected from these pathogens. So that is it that you have to remember. So then we are going to talk about some diseases caused by microorganisms on human. So virus can cause cold, dengue, AIDS. Bacteria can cause tuberculosis, typhoid fever. Protozoa can cause malaria. Fungi can cause rashes, pityriasis. So these things just keep in mind. Then we are going to talk about the diseases caused by microorganisms on plants. So there are some diseases caused by microorganisms, and those are affected in the plants. Powdery mildew disease, late blight, wilting, food spoilage. So powdery mildew disease, the main symptom will be white or grey color powdery material. This can damage every part of the plant. This is caused by a fungus. So late blight is caused by fungus. Potato plant can be affected. So brown spots will be appeared, and later the spots will turn into black, affects the whole plant. Wilting. caused by fungi or bacteria. So xylem is the part which transport water throughout the tree. The xylem get affected in this wilting disease. Therefore, it doesn't function properly. Therefore, the plant gets withered due to the poor supply of water. So food spoilage, we all know about food spoilage. When microorganisms grow on food, we can't eat it. It gets spoiled. So that is something basic we know. Microorganisms as biological weapons. So this is the most dangerous part. The toxins produced by microorganisms or pathogens like viruses, bacteria can be used as biological weapons. These are used in military purposes. These are harmful to humans, animals and plants. Example is Bacillus anthracis, the causative agent of anthrax disease. That is the example. Okay. So then I have some questions. You should try to answer these questions so you can have a very good idea about the complete lesson. Thank you.